Hey, and welcome back to our weekend mini nerve. Oh my God, are we back just in time with this thing? Because you guys, Michelle Obama cannot help herself. She cannot. No amount of mockery of her or her lame podcast, no amount of criticism or coercion into maybe dialing this back because you're making yourself look terrible, lady, like terrible. But nothing's going to stop her from committing rhetorical, reputational violence against one Barack Obama. You're not going to believe this complaint, her latest complaint. Portnoy's complaint, her latest complaint. You know, I talked about this on Megyn Kelly's show with Megyn like a week ago, and we were talking about how they were photographed alighting on Steven Spielberg's yacht, like again last week, and Michelle got there first. They didn't go together. They didn't arrive together, and then 5 hours later, in comes Barack, and Barack seemed to be keeping solace with his laptop on board. Just saying. Okay. Now I just want to say this, like, even if you're not a fan of Barack's, like, I promise you this mini will melt the hardest of hearts as far as his plight goes. Now, this week on Michelle's podcast, her struggling, lame, unlistenable podcast. I pictured this podcast as like, Michelle is like that cat in the house that just has a nasty disposition, and the cat is too old to like ever modify any of it. And the podcast stands as her metaphorical scratching post, and she's just scratching this thing raw. And she doesn't even realize that, like, it's like there's nothing left. Like, this is all we're getting from her. She uses this podcast to just vent her grievances, which her grievances are legion, but her target is lone, and that's Barack, the man who made her rich and famous beyond her wildest dreams. And, you know, brother Craig, who serves as he's not even her co-host. Let's get real. He is, if you ever saw the Larry Sanders Show, he is the Hank to Gary Shandling's Larry. And if you've never seen the Larry Sanders Show, do yourself a favor. But yeah, no, he's the sidekick. He's the like fucking, you know, I'm just here to like get banged up by you. And as we're going to see here, brother Craig, my theory is coming to the fore here. He is visibly terrified of his sister. Visibly terrified. Now, these two are hosting renowned couples therapist, Dr. Orna Guralnick. And I am a fan of Dr. Orna Guralnick's. I think this woman is brilliant. She has a reality show that is really more akin to a docuseries. It's called Couples Therapy. It's in its 4th season. It originated on Showtime. Now I think it's on Paramount Plus. She treats real couples in crisis, and she is truly gifted. This show isn't exploitative at all. Exploitative, I suppose is the word. But you know, she's coming on Michelle's podcast. It's telling Barack's not there. And I think that even a brilliant mind like Orna has assessed Michelle as beyond even her help. Okay. So we're going to begin with, we're starting with the introduction, just so you guys can see. Watch brother Craig's eyes and watch them go. Like when you see the tops of somebody's eyeball and you see the whites there, that is an evolutionary sign of alarm. Take a look. Here we go.
You're looking good.
I feel good. I feel good.
Yeah, that's good.
Really?
So today's show is going to be a knockout.
Yeah. You know, one of my favorite topics and one of my favorite people.
Yes.
You know, talking about marriage, the challenges of marriage and all that good stuff.
So Craig is like, he's like, today's gonna be a good show, right? Today's gonna be a good show. And Michelle, so that's his body language and her body language. And we heard you guys. We're gonna get Mark Bowden on again very soon. Don't worry. Michelle's body language is like she's hunched in, so she's closed off. She's like this. She's over. Her head is downward tilted. Her eyebrows are knitted. Her face is freezing that way. Yeah, it's going to be a great show. We got one of my favorite topics, marriage therapy. You know, Craig probably signed a contract. I'm sure he would really prefer to parachute right out of there. Now, here is, oh my God, Michelle is such a dark cloud. She shares on this podcast, and Craig's like, I didn't know this ever. Like, your mom talked to you like this? Michelle is talking about her mother telling her that at least once a year, she thought about leaving Michelle and Craig's father. And she would often analogize marriage to a dark winter, a dark Chicago winter, by the way. There's no winter like a dark Chicago winter. And why her mother advised her against leaving that loser, Barack. Here we go.
During our conversations, you know, I'd get into the, how do you put up with men? And let me tell you what Barack did. And, you know, and she'd always say, you know, no one's perfect. You know, everybody brings their baggage to the table. And she used that example. She said every year, it was almost like she had to renew her faith in her marriage. And springtime was that time. It was probably, as I think about it, it's like you're sort of trapped in the winter, the dark, long winter of Chicago where nobody's going anywhere because it's just too cold. And then it starts to warm up. And, you know, she always had that spring cleaning ritual too.
Right.
She would have gotten the house ready for the new season. And it was probably her ritual of kind of shedding all the stuff from the winter, including thoughts of her husband.
Oh my God. Michelle is really, I'm just going to say it, she's fucked up. That's how she's talking about her own father in public with her brother who has to laugh along out of, you know, a survival instinct. Let's get real. I mean, that is some really dark stuff. Spring cleaning is usually about renewal. Like you're opening the windows, you're letting fresh air in, the days are getting longer. It is traditionally, for those of us who are psychologically with it and healthy, a happy time. Not for Michelle. Anyway, you may have heard this from the horse's mouth, but her marriage isn't perfect, you guys.
People look at our marriage as the ideal, you know, because
they don't.
In
Not
Instagram
anymore.
world,
You killed that.
You know, you see two loving people doing a hard thing in the world, you know, always on stage, giving each other a hug after a big speech.
And making it look easy.
Right.
And it's not.
Brother Craig did his
and a
work.
lot of young people could look at that and go, I want a marriage like Michelle and Barack.
Right.
And it's like, well, let me talk about what marriage is, you know, because it's, even when it looks good, even when it's great, it's hard.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important because, you know, it's very easy to quit on a marriage.
Michelle, just quit on the marriage, okay? Just quit on the marriage. We know you're miserable because you use every available opportunity to tell us so. And then she's like, you know, people want to be us. No matter how much I talk shit about this loser over here, first Black president of the United States, duly elected twice, made us multimillionaires with 4 estates around the continental United States. Oh, and Hawaii, so 3 and 1 rather. It's very hard. You know, it's very hard to live in the White House and have a staff of foot soldiers and have the mainstream media laud you as one of the most beautiful, successful to ever be a first lady, and then to exit with a ton of goodwill and sign book deals worth $60 million. It's really hard. Shut up! Shut up! Now, Michelle is doing something real. I think this is unforgivable. I think this is unforgivable. I don't think Barack Obama has ever spoken about this. I could be wrong, and if I am, I'm wrong. But even so, it's always his story to tell, not yours, Michelle, okay? Here, she outs Barack Obama going to therapy.
Barack and I've done individual therapy, we've done couples therapy. There's just a way to, as I was saying in our earlier conversation, to, bring our marriage down to reality for people.
Listen, Michelle, none of us give a shit about your marriage. We're not invested. We don't care. I don't care. I don't care if you stay married. I don't care if you get a divorce. I mean, frankly, I think I speak for many when when I say we would love it if you got a divorce, because this now just feels sad, pathetic, mean, and full of vengeance. And it is not a good look, okay? You look very small. You look very small. And I frankly don't understand why Barack hasn't begun divorce proceedings, because trust me, the world would be cheering him on. Now, Craig's going to get a little shiv in. Okay. Craig knows what's up. He knows what's up. We're going to hear about what Barack Obama's, they're talking love languages. Okay. I think, as I've said before, the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. And I think Barack is displaying indifference. I think Barack presents to me, I know he was president, and I know you got to fight a lot of battles and get in the mud to get there. I know you do. But Barack interpersonally presents to me as conflict avoidant. I think within the four walls of the family home, he presents to me as conflict avoidant. Let's listen.
Well, your love language is talk, and if talk isn't his love language, he doesn't want to go to the edge of anything, because he just wants you to hold him. That's the experience he wants, or he wants you to just leave him alone.
No, sorry, that's
the
Barack.
Experience he wants with his wife.
I'd like to know. His love language is solitude.
Craigers getting in there. His love language is solitude. And look at Craig's body language. He's pivoting away from Miss Misery over here. Barack's love language is solitude. It's solitude. It's his Apple laptop and it's earbuds. Okay. And it's being on Steven Spielberg's yacht 500 yards away from this stink cloud over here. Now to the big complaint, Michelle's Portnoy's complaint, her latest gripe against one Barack Obama. You guys aren't going to believe it. If you haven't seen the headline, I envy you, because this is a banger. Here we go.
Because how many times somebody asks, what are you thinking about? And you're like, well, let me make up a thing, because I don't want to actually tell you what I was thinking about.
Happened right now.
Which was the way you're chewing makes me want to smack you upside the head.
That's why guys don't want to have
Would that be an edge?
That would be an edge. And that would be really interesting. You could open something up there in a big way.
Why does your chewing annoy me so much?
Right.
Let's discuss.
Michelle says in this pod that it's not just her who is disturbed to no end by the sound of Barack masticating. It also affects and offends their two daughters. All three of the girls cannot stand Barack Obama's chewing. I don't buy it. And by the way, if I'm Barack Obama, I'm saying F off, because none of you are living the lives you're living without me. I'm the one who's been putting food on this table, so F off.
Because the girls
There's a
and
thing,
I talk about,
that's a thing.
Yeah,
chewing.
I didn't realize that. That's good to know, because the girls and I are very irritated with the way Barack chews.
Oh my!
Craig's like, oh my God. Craig is feeling it. Craig, get out. Okay, save yourself. You think this is how she talks about her husband. You don't think you're next? And by the way, here we go. Here's a little taste of what's to come, Craig, because she's laughing at you. Here we go.
But why does it annoy us? Should we, is that a statement of something deeper?
And if it doesn't annoy you, is that a statement of something deeper?
No.
That's not fair.
Wrong again, Craig Robinson.
Not fair.
Sorry.
You got one more strike, and then you'll have to leave the table.
Michelle is disparaging him. She's like, your question is dumb. His question wasn't dumb. He's just trying to play ball. And he's not going to bring up any of his own marital issues in his first marriage or his current marriage. He's not playing this game. You know why? Because he's smart, okay? There's one person at that table not talking shit about their spouse. And it's not... Okay, now, Orna has a question. And her question is basically, hey, lady, do you get joy out of anything? Did anything make you happy? Here we go.
I wanted to ask you guys earlier, like, what makes you feel alive? What makes you feel like you're present?
In the life I live, which is so abnormal now, it's really, it's like being outside. You know, I mean, I say this a lot, something that comes with fame that people don't, that they don't appreciate, they're not cautious of, is the loss of anonymity.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard for Barack and I to just be in the world unobserved.
Yeah.
And as a couple, so much of your interaction just happens because you two are experiencing the world together, sitting in a park and watching life go by, you know, stopping at a cafe and getting a cup of coffee. And then the conversation turns to the conversation next to you, right? We're always the conversation next to the people we're sitting, right?
Oh my God. Listen, Michelle, if you don't like the attention, nobody's forcing you to do this podcast at gunpoint. Nobody's forcing you to take millions of dollars for book deals. Nobody's forcing you to go yachting with Steven Spielberg or sign Netflix deals. Nobody's forcing you to do anything. You don't like being famous. And I love it when people who are famous, who fought for fame, who then complain about being famous, go, you know what, you idiots out there who aren't famous don't understand about how hard it is to be famous. Hey, you can exit right anytime you like. There have been plenty of first ladies who exited the White House and went back and lived quiet, productive lives without the need to be in front of a microphone or a camera bitching about their husbands. Laura Bush, for example, when do you ever hear from her? Get out, get out. And that, my friends, that until Michelle's next issuance of bullshit is our catharsis. That is our catharsis. And that does it for our mini nerve. That does it. We will see you back here next week for our first week of 3 full weekday episodes. Remember, The Nerve at Night drops Wednesday around 5 p.m. Eastern Time. That is the new schedule from here on out. And we have you troublemakers to thank for that. We're so happy to be doing like another episode. There's too much stuff. As you see, we struggle to cram it all in. So thank you. Thank you for that. And we will meet you right back here on Tuesday at The Nerve, where you will never guess what we're about to say next. Do you trust the seafood you bring into your home? Do you question ever the nutrition, the taste, or the sustainability? Well, have you tried Wild Alaskan Company? I have, and I love them. Wild Alaskan is the best way to get wild-caught, perfectly proportioned, nutrition-dense seafood delivered directly to your door. Their fish is 100% wild-caught and never farmed, which means there are no antibiotics, GMOs, or additives. You are just getting clean, real fish. And you're also supporting healthy oceans and fishing communities. Wild Alaskan fish is frozen off the boat to lock in taste, texture, and nutrients. It's sustainably sourced and wild caught from Alaska, and your membership delivers flexible shipments, expert tips, and truly feel good, taste great seafood like my favorites, sockeye salmon and Pacific cod. You can try it risk-free, 100% money-back guarantee. Not all fish are the same. Get seafood you can trust. Go to wildalaskan.com/nerve for $35 off your first box of premium wild-caught seafood. That's wildalaskan.com/nerve for $35 off your first order. Thanks to Wild Alaskan Company for sponsoring this episode.